Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Caribbean Hot Topics. Now, last time we were over there in Jamaica. Today we are going to visit the tiny island of Nevis. And we're going to be digging into the mysterious disappearance of 17-year-old Dylon Clarke. As usual, before we get into the details, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and as soon as you finish watching, just share the video with your friends and family, okay? And get them to subscribe as well, please. Let's get this channel to grow. Alright, so let's get into it. Now, on April 28th, 2012, 17-year-old Dylon Clarke of Churchground, Nevis left his home in the afternoon and was hanging at a bar in his village. Wait, at a bar at 17 years old? Well, alright, so if that's how y'all do it over there in Nevis, okay. Alright, well, it's said that sometime after 6 p.m., Dylon left the bar to go to a friend's house in Cane Grove, Nevis, and this friend goes by the name of Patrick Howell Jr. And since that visit, he has never been seen or heard from again. Of course, you know, we have to get some backstory, try and put the pieces together, okay? So, look, get out your pens, pencils, your notepads, because we're going to be piecing some things together. By the time you have finished watching this video, I think that everybody should have a very good idea as to who most likely was responsible for this guy's disappearance. And if you watch this video and you're still confused as to what happened, then, well, I don't know what video you were looking at. So, the backstory. Patrick Howell Jr., the friend that he went to visit, was charged in December 2011, just 4 months prior, with the death of 17-year-old Zameek Heiliger, who was brutally stabbed to death on Christmas Eve of that year. So, Christmas Eve, Zameek was murdered, and a few days later, Patrick was picked up and charged for that murder. And in a move that no one can begin to understand, I'm still confused by it, Patrick was released on bail in early January 2012. Excuse me? So, he's accused of brutally stabbing to death a young man, and he's put back out to walk amongst the public? Well, alright then, Nevis. Do you do your thing. Okay, so apparently that's what happens in Nevis. So he gets charged with murder and he's released on bail. Now, it is alleged that Patrick Howell Jr., the family that he comes from, happens to be, I guess, a very popular family, perhaps. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. And it is alleged that some favor was extended to him because of who his family is. And that's how he was able to obtain the bail. Now look, don't come for me, I'm just telling you what I say. Okay? So now apparently, here's where you start connecting some dots. Dylon had given a written statement to the police about Zameek's murder, which directly implicated Patrick in that crime. Now, since a statement was given to the police, that statement was now considered to be evidence, of course, and the police has a responsibility to hand it over to the prosecutors. In turn, the prosecutors have a responsibility to hand that over to the defense lawyer. So the defense lawyer was now in possession of this statement that Dylon Clarke, Patrick's friend, gave, indicating that he was responsible for the murder, and it is a reasonable assumption that the defense lawyer discussed it with Patrick, like, well, what the hell going on here? You know this Dylon fella? Eh? I mean, I don't know if that's what was said, but I would have asked, so I'm assuming that he did too. So Dylon's mother, of course, was present when he gave this statement to the police, and she said during an interview with one of the local media outlets that she did not expect for the statement to be handed over to the defense so quickly, and rightfully so. And I am sure none of them were expecting that Patrick would be free on bail after being charged with murder. And quite frankly, I feel like maybe the legal system really put Dylon's life at risk, because he's free, Dylon is out there, Dylon and Patrick are supposed to be friends in some form. Patrick is now aware that Dylon gave direct evidence against him, and he has all access to Dylon. I don't know if it is that they felt like this guy was not capable of committing another crime or whatever the case is, but I really feel like they put that boy's life at risk. So anyway, poor Dylon on that day was most likely walking straight towards his own murder and not even know it. I don't know if it is a case where he was unaware that Patrick knew that he had given evidence, or if he felt that Patrick wasn't capable of doing to him what he allegedly did to Zameek. Maybe he felt their friendship was strong enough to overcome it, and that maybe he can go over to Patrick's house and fix the relationship and let him know, well, he's not going to testify, or he'll take it back, or whatever it is. But it seems as though Dylon had a soft spot for Patrick, because his mother had indicated to that same media outlet that she had tirelessly warned Dylon to stay away from Patrick. But Dylon was determined to be his friend because he said no one else wanted to be a friend to him. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why. Anyway, after Dylon went missing, and he was missing for about a month or so, the USVI offered some assistance with the case, because I guess it was a really big thing and they became aware of the situation, and they offered to carry 2 cadaver dogs to Nevis, and those dogs now led the police on a journey from that same bar that Dylon was hanging out at, and guess where them dogs they lead the police straight to? Patrick's house. Straight to Patrick's house. And they stopped right there. They went no further. They ain't went no further. And not only did they just lead them to Patrick's house, but the dogs then back, or they sit, or whatever it is they're supposed to do to indicate that there was the smell of human decomposition. They did that on 2 separate occasions in Patrick's yard. Now, is that a coincidence? But first of all, it can't be a coincidence, because then who body that is that the dog is sniffing up? Who else's body it is? Anyways, as I said, the dogs them sit on the back or whatever they're supposed to do, or they start to dig to indicate that they're smelling human decomposition on 2 separate occasions. And it is said that the police dug in that area where the dogs gave the alert, but unfortunately no remains were found. But I had a few questions about that, and I'm hoping that someone who lives in the area or is familiar with the case can perhaps shed some light on this situation, because it says that the dog led the police there and alerted the police to human decomposition on 2 separate occasions. So I'm trying to figure out if they went on separate days, and if so, was there someone there guarding the area to ensure that it was not tampered with after the fact. Because remember, Patrick ain't in prison. Patrick is not locked up anywhere. Patrick probably home in his bedroom looking out the window watching what's going on, and he probably see where these 2 damn dogs gonna tell them which path I buried the boy, right? And so I would like to know if they brought in a backhoe or whatever it is they brought in, an excavator. Did they bring that in the same day, or did they come back days later? Because if it wasn't dug up the same day, Patrick had more than enough time to dig back up the body and get rid of it. You You understand what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So I need answers. I need to know when the dogs alerted the police. I need to know how long did it take for them to dig that area up to see if the body was there. If this is a case where Patrick dug up the body and moved it elsewhere, Patrick was only 16 at the time, so Patrick can't drive. So who helped Patrick? Because I don't see Patrick doing that by himself. I could see him burying the body outside by himself. That's convenient. He ain't got to go nowhere. Just go out in the middle of the night and you dig a hole and you do whatever you have to do. But to transport the body elsewhere, to move the body elsewhere, somebody had to have helped. So somebody out there knew exactly what happened, and it has to be, and I believe it has to be somebody that can drive. So is the family involved in some way to protect their son, to protect their name, to protect their image? Those are questions that people want to know. Anyway, according to the St. Kitts Nevis Observer, the Commissioner of Police at the time, Kelvin C.G. Walwyn, had made a very bold and out-of-order statement to the media, declaring that Patrick had no motive to kill Dylon because Dylon had refused to testify in court. Well, excuse me, Mr. Policeman, but whose side are you on? How can he go out in the public and make such a bold statement if Patrick has already been accused of stabbing a young man to death? Well, you gonna tell me that he ain't got a motive to kill Dylon? I'm sure he killed Zamik, allegedly, for less than what it is he did to Dylon. Because regardless of whether or not Dylon is going to give testimony in court, Patrick is only 16 years old. He's immature. As far as he see it, his friend betray him and his friend got to pay. As far as he see it, his friend not too much, and so the only way he could protect himself in his mind is to get rid of that friend because he know too much. I'm sure Patrick is thinking, but he could say what he wants, but I don't know that for a fact, and the only way I can guarantee that he does not testify against me is if I get rid of him altogether. Any normal policeman, anybody who have any bit of sense, can put two and two together and recognize that that is more than enough motive to kill. So for him to be the commissioner of police and make such a statement to the public is outrageous. It's out of order, and it was a slap to that family's face. I still vex. I can't believe what I read. I vex because he was out of order, and I feel like he single-handedly derailed the whole investigation, because which police officer going to thoroughly investigate Patrick when the head of the police ain't believe that the man guilty, the boy guilty? How do they carry out a proper investigation? I wouldn't be surprised if Kelvin Walwyn was in this station telling them, look elsewhere, ain't there, he ain't responsible. Now remember what I was telling you about them possibly extending some favors to Patrick Howell's family? Well, it's kind of looking to be a little bit true, because I mean, the commissioner of police is defending an alleged murderer. That making no sense to me. So why is he doing that? Is he friends with the family? Did the family put in a few words for their son? What's going on? That does not make sense to me. You are supposed to be on the side of the victim. You are supposed to be seeking justice for the victim. And the victim here is Dylon and Dylon's family. So he has no motive? Are you crazy? Anyway, let me move on here because I feel my pressure going up. Because I just find that to be just out of order. I don't see how the commissioner can declare this boy innocent before any thorough investigation began. And on top of that, they smell human decomposition in here. That can't be no coincidence. But anyway, Well, let's bring it back. So, to date, unfortunately, Dylon's body still has not been found. The court declared him legally deceased after 7 years of his disappearance, sometime in 2019. Now, Patrick, he was never charged for any wrongdoing as it relates to Dylon's disappearance, which is ridiculous. So, but we can continue. The Assistant Commissioner of Police, Robert Liebert, had declared to the media that this particular case, would remain open indefinitely. But I don't know if that means that it's open on the books, but nobody is really investigating the matter, or if they have persons who are still looking into the matter. But I believe if this is a case where it's open on the books but no one is actively investigating, I feel like this case needs to be reactivated, because Patrick could not have acted alone, as I said before, and more questions need to be asked. There are too many coincidences pointing directly at Patrick, and I feel wholeheartedly that he was responsible and he needs to be brought to justice. And whoever else helped him. But anyway, currently, Patrick is in prison, surprise, serving a 13-year sentence after being found guilty in 2017 on guns and ammunition charges. The same innocent boy, the same one who had no motive to kill Dylon, was arrested and charged and is now serving 13 years in prison for guns and ammunition charges. Anyway, there is no information that I could have found on whether charges were dropped against him for the stabbing death of Zamik, or, well, I didn't find any information with regards to the status of the case. So if anybody knows anything about that, you can please update us. I really hope that they bring that matter to trial, and I hope that he's found guilty and is sentenced to spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. And anything less than that would be unjust. And if it is that Dylon's family cannot get justice directly for his disappearance, then if he's put behind bars for the rest of his life for Zamik's murder, maybe it can be some form of consolation that he's put away for life, because nope, he should not be around regular people. No. And stabbing at people, burying bodies, moving bodies, allegedly. Not normal. Lock him away, throw away the key. Don't bring him back out. For the sake of Nevis, do not bring him back out. Anyway, if anyone out there has any information regarding this case, let the authorities know. Any little something you remember can be very helpful in piecing together what happened on that day Dylon went missing. Even if you think that it's insignificant, you just don't know. It could be the missing piece to the puzzle that would bring some form of closure for Dylon's mother and the extended family. She should be able to put her son to rest in peace once and for all, and at least have a specific area that she can go to when she wants to visit her son, as opposed to not knowing. Can you imagine the torture of just having no idea what happened to your child, where your child disappeared to? I mean, that cannot be easy. And I feel it for her and the extended family, and they really need a closure. And so I hope that someone can come forward, and I'm sure you can provide information anonymously. Contact the police. You don't have to give your name or anything, but lead them to where the body is, Anyway, that's all I got for you on this matter. Thank you all for watching, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to get this channel to grow. And give the video a like, share it with your friends and family, and get them to to subscribe to the channel as well. Anyway, until next time, bye!